testimony and evidence that was in. And I could have cited a lot more, but I just stuck to whatever was at the display.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people I'm hoping that argument gets, and it was recorded, I hope it's generally available.
My sister, yes. Hi, how are you? Good. I'm glad to see you here. I was wondering if I would see you here today. I don't know if you folks know, this is Bill Trout. With Bangladesh, who has sat through all kinds of proceedings and with this case.
So are you happy with the outcome today or not? You're not?
I'm very disappointed that,
10:30.
as I stated to the court, I believe that this was not about punishment, this was about responsibility in enforcing the ethical standards that prosecutors are required to be held to. This is it. It repeatedly throughout the law court upheld the federal rules, national bar association rules, state bar association rules discuss the higher standards for many reasons. But we believe we should accept as common sense to us that prosecutors have unprecedented power compared to other regular attorneys, and they are held to higher standards because of those powers.
Right.
It is not enough for a prosecutor to go through this process, deny any wrongdoing throughout this process.
And you don't think she's going to change either, am I right?
She stated she's not going to change a few months ago. She specifically stated she would do absolutely nothing different, and she just simply has philosophical disagreement with the rules.
This is not just my opinion. This is the finding that a three-panel disciplinary panel, three-member disciplinary panel concluded in their decision. They believe, based on what they observed, based on the evidence that they have examined and substantiated, they believe that Attorney Kellett will continue to engage in this conduct, prejudicial conduct, in the future.
And Mr. Keller is not the only victim. There are quite a few other victims that were prepared to file other bar complaints as well against.
Do you think the state came to the recommendation because they didn't want other people looking at all the other cases that she had looked at, that she had been involved in?
I don't know. I'm going by what the judge said and by what the bar panel stated and what the disciplinary panel stated. I have my opinions, but I'm not sure what their motives or what factors that beyond what they've expressed. Perhaps someone from the state could comment on that. I'm certainly not in a position.
I'd be interested to know.
Mr. Kellett?
Yes.
Justice Gorman today said she apologized on behalf of the justices for your first time. Do you accept an apology?
Do I accept that apology? That's a very difficult thing to answer without given all the suffering that me and my two small children, irreparable suffering, as a result of Attorney Kellett's conduct. Justice Gorman should not be making that apology. Justice Gorman didn't do anything to me or my two children. Attorney Kellett, from the beginning, engaged in a pattern of conduct which my attorney voiced and my attorney tried to address repeatedly until my entire family went broke and ran out of resources to fund my representation. Broke completely. My family's broke. My two children, my reputation and my two boys' reputation has been ruined irreparably by this attorney's conduct, which, as I stated, took all of 4 days to unfold without much of an investigation. And I know a lot of details, and I know what the state, what evidence they collected and what they knew from the beginning. And I don't believe that given all the evidence, and I don't believe that there was sufficient probable cause to go forward, especially after 4 days, with my ex-wife being involuntarily hospitalized and nothing beyond her accusations. And believe me, the state came out and they ran tests and they pulled warrants, and they did all kinds of things immediately and substantiated nothing, and still arrested me, still charged me. Bangor Daily News ran a front page story about the case immediately. It was very disheartening. And anyone who goes through this process understands exactly what at times is an insurmountable, can be insurmountable burden. I watch the trials and things on TV, like the recent trial by Zimmerman trial, and I hear the people say how difficult it is to gain a conviction. That has not been my experience. I hear a lot of times prosecutors say how difficult it is, but for prosecutors willing to engage in misconduct, it's not so difficult. The court gives a lot of leeway to prosecutors. The court, based on my experience, sets the bar a lot higher, I'd say a little bit higher for defense attorneys. And I think it's because of that perception that it's so hard to get a conviction, and the public expects convictions. But I see things differently. I see how things are handled, and I see things quite differently now. Having gone through the system, having gone through 2 trials, 2 appeals, a divorce in the middle of it all, and a divorce appeal where I represented myself, I see things a lot different. I'm disappointed because while this is not about punishment, it's about accountability. I don't believe this is about punishment. I believe this is about accountability, this proceeding. That's the whole point for why I believe the lawyers are held to ethical standards, to be held accountable. So other lawyers don't repeat.
Prosecutors.
So other prosecutors, so regular lawyers, will respect these ethics rules. How can any prosecutor in the state of Maine respect these higher ethical standards when given all the evidence that was presented in detail in my Barkman? Here's my Barkman book, 3 parts. This is with documents and transcripts of Attorney Kellett's statements to the court, misrepresenting facts. There's transcripted statements by Attorney Mary Kellett. Here's a pack of documents that I believe substantiated much of what I stated.
And everything you stated has
And yet,
evidence.
Attorney Kellett avoided having her license, even suspended. Really, the license, even that punishment was suspended. This isn't about Attorney Kellett admitting a wrong. This is about her being held to standards, to us, to all of us, to the community. We give her a lot of trust and power. We give the state unbelievable power, and we should rightfully expect accountability. So yeah, I am disappointed. I'm also concerned because I have read a lot of articles. I've read a lot of lawyers' statements about other cases which were. I remember one article reading where Judge Helms said this is the first time he's heard an issue of a prosecutor not releasing or contesting release of a video recording of an accused.
This is another case.
This is another case involving Ms. Kellett. There's prosecutors constantly questioning why certain cases are being put forth and tried. Prosecutors have certain measures for deciding which cases to bring to trial. They can't just bring, like my appellate attorney stated that charges were brought really unprovable. The video recordings, very early on, the initial video recordings, my ex-wife made a bunch of admissions right to the prosecuting office. And they brought this still to the grand jury. I very much doubt, we're not allowed to know what the grand jury, but I very much doubt that Attorney Kellett presented these admissions to the grand jury. But she knew these, she had to, it was done in her office, it was her investigator conducting the interviews. Prosecutors cannot put forth a prosecution that doesn't have a reasonable expectation resulting in a conviction. I'm ranting on.
That's okay.
No.
They can, if they continue breaking the rules, they can result in conviction.
And there's other bar
Right.
complaints that were tossed out by Mr. Davis, so that I know about.
I realize that you live in Georgia now.
Okay.
Do you have an interest in keeping track of Ms. Kellett's activities as a prosecutor?
I have an interest in making sure that other people are not subjected to such destructive abuse as me, my entire family, and my 2 completely innocent small children.
Are you willing to act as a resource for every defense attorney she ever runs up against? It seems to me that if she's going to pull this kind of stunt, every defense attorney she ever acts in should know what she's likely to deal with. It seems to me that the state should know she's been tainted.
And throughout this process, it confuses me how Attorney Kellett has not been suspended by her own superiors in her office. She's been allowed to continue to make prosecutorial decisions. She's been allowed to continue to give plea deals to some while pursuing prosecutions of others. It's as if that prosecutorial office did not take this misconduct, this alleged misconduct, or even the bar panel's decision very seriously.
And do you know how many complaints was ever made about her or no?
I have no way of knowing that.
But you're certainly not the first.
I have no way of knowing that. I'm not aware of any complaints made against, other than mine, against the attorney. Oh, well, I am. I believe other organizations publicized making complaints against her.
Right.
But I made this complaint right in the middle of my case, before in retrial, when I made this complaint. I mean, I risked a lot, and a lot of attorneys will tell you that you're crazy for speaking out against a prosecutor who's about to re-prosecute.
Whose office is going to continue?
Whose office, and I've had to, and throughout the appeals, and they show up at hearings. I remember the judge stated that the second trial was found to be where I was convicted wrongful of an absurd misdemeanor assault. I mean, the point is that the judge made a statement that trial was fair. Well, if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there, did it make a noise? If you are not able to get your truth across into statements, if the general opinion of a lot of attorneys is not to speak out harshly against the prosecutors, which your attorneys who are presenting cases, I mean, I certainly would have, don't agree that the second trial was fair. I mean, even in the appeal brief, the prosecuting attorney Paul Kavanaugh cited my bar complaint, the publicity of negative publicity of Attorney Kellett's misconduct, as somehow being a reason to deny me an appeal. Citing Prosecutor Kavanaugh cited in the appeal testimony from the first trial.
Right.
And my attorney tried to point that out.
Now, do you think the outcome would have been any different if it was up in Maine, up in Bar Harbor?
Of what?
No, what happened today?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
Well,
The venue had been Bar Harbor. If this hearing
hearing
had
was-
been Bar Harbor,
right.
Instead of Portland.
If this law court judge came to Bangor to hold this hearing,
Or Bar Harbor, there must be a,
Bar Harbor.
it must be a Supreme Court, it's a Supreme Court, right?
No, in Ellsworth, there's a Superior Court and
Superior
there's a
Court.
District Court in Ellsworth.
Okay.
And I'm not sure, I mean, I have no way of knowing. This is a decision that the High Court made. I'm not sure how that would have changed the decision that the court ruled. I'm not sure the court would have ruled differently had it been
Okay.
here or in Augusta or in Bar Harbor. A lot of, that would be speculation. This is what the court said,
Right.
and so,
I'm certainly sorry what you had to go through, you know.
thank you.
Fortunately, I can't do nothing. Thank you. We're here for you. Thank you.
It was actually the gentleman in Arizona who filed the bar complaint against Kellett, and Davis threw it out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Paul Elam and I researched that.
That's my cell phone.
So Paul was supposed to talk.
Voice for Men.
I'm gonna get Michelle a call. The judge is saying, anything else comes up, then we'll do it. So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.